Hello and welcome to this short little quickie flow. We're going to be working on our crow transitions today, so we're going to be flowing into crow a few different ways. So you can grab a block if you have one to practice with, otherwise don't worry so much about it. I like to start sitting on a block just so that my knees are lower than my hips and I can sit with a nice tall long spine. So wherever you are, take a moment, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, relax them down the spine. You can bring your hands into a mudra if you'd like, or you can just simply close your hands onto your knees, closing down the eyes if you haven't already. Start to settle into the space around you. We're probably all at very different stages in our day. So wherever you are, just try to move your mind away from what's been before, any judgments or expectations of what might be to come. Bring your awareness to your breath. Just start to notice it, don't try to change it. Just feel the shape of your diaphragm changing as you inhale. Feel yourself relax with every exhale. Start to lengthen the inhales now, slowly. Feel your chest rise up towards your collarbones. Exhale, lengthen the exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. One more breath just like that. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Dropping the chin down in towards the chest. Slowly blink open the eyes so that the light can come in. Very gently you can move the block away from underneath your seat. Just pop it over to one side. I'm going to move straight away into our tabletop position. So bring the hands down underneath the shoulders, knees stacked underneath the hips. We'll just start by warming up the wrists. So we're going to draw some nice circles around our hands with our shoulders, so keeping the arms nice and straight to begin with. Warming up, pressing into each of our individual fingers. Try to take the shoulders past the fingertips. And then we're going to change direction, taking those circles in the opposite direction. Trying to stay nice and strong in the core. So we're thinking about engaging our belly button up towards the spine. Maybe push the ground away slightly with the hands so the arms are nice and active. And then we're going to find stillness and move into our scapular push-ups. When we move into crow, we want to create that nice space away from the ground, protract our shoulders away, push into the floor. As you exhale, keep the arms straight, drop the chest down towards the floor, relax the neck. Shoulder blades might come together to meet. Inhale, push the ground away. Round through the spine a little bit so that scapula stays nice and flush to the back. Exhale, drop it down. Take a few more of these. If this feels okay to you and you're quite familiar with this movement, you can step it up into your plank position. So you can tuck the toes under, maybe bring the toes together or separate them out slightly. Point the tailbone down. We're not rounding and tightening through, we're just pointing it down and we're exhaling down. Chest comes to the floor, push the ground away. So we're obviously taking a little bit more weight into our wrists as we do this, and we're also putting the shoulders under a little bit more load. So wherever you are, if you can get a few good reps out of this, perfect. Remember, you can always drop it down to your knees and you're still going to be doing exactly the same work, just under less load. Beautiful. Moving again back to our wrists, bring the hands in towards each other, take a sway from side to side. Moving up further into the shoulders, and then just start to pad the hands around in all different directions. When we move into crow, our wrists really move into quite an acute angle. So it's really important that they're all warmed up and ready to go. Beautiful. From here, place the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, Plank position, push the ground away, nice and active through the plank, navel drawing up, long neck. From here, bending the knees, we're going to push our hips up to down facing dog, take the hips up to the sky, start to paddle out the feet, lengthening through the legs, push the ground away with the shoulders so we're not slumping into our shoulders, we're nice and active, pushing the ground away. Maybe point the elbows slightly inwards so the eye of the elbow comes to face the front of the mat almost. And again, if your heels don't go all the way down to the floor, don't worry about it. They might get there in time, they might not. It's already depending on the shape and anatomy of your ankles. And obviously the length and time that you spend working on other areas of flexibility. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come to stillness. Look to the front of the mat. Tiptoe our way all the way to the front so the toes come to the back of the hands. Bend the legs as much as you need to so that the belly can touch the thigh. Relax the head all the way down into your forward fold. Maybe take ragdoll pose if that feels comfortable for you. Hang out here for just a little moment. Relaxing the shoulders, letting gravity do a little bit of the work. Coming into our halfway lift, you can have your feet about hip width apart, slowly roll yourself up. Engage the lower belly, point the fingertips back behind you. Maybe this feels a little bit lighter than your usual hands to shins or hands to knees. Find that strength and that lengthening through the collarbones, suck the belly in. Coming into a nice right angle with the body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise yourself all the way up to standing, so the hands over the head, bring them back down into the prayer position. Take a moment here. We're going to heel toe the feet out into our Malasana position. So I want you to very slowly sink the hips all the way down to the ground. And if you're super flexible and you can get your hips all the way down to the floor, that's okay. If you can't, stay up a little bit higher. If your heels are coming up off the mat, try to bring your hips up so that your heels come down. So wherever you are, find your Malasana, your yogi squat. Bring the hands into the prayer position. Use the elbows to prise apart the knees and also activate the outside of your glutes. So you're really kind of starting to build some intelligence in this position rather than just relying on your elbows to push your knees apart. Beautiful. Finding a moment here, lifting up through the collarbones, trying to keep the back nice and straight. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. Step it all the way back to your plank position, taking a Chaturanga. You can always take a modified Chaturanga with the knees down or with the knees up wherever you are. Draw the elbows back down the body, lengthen the neck. Exhale down. Inhale, rolling up into your upward facing dog or your cobra, wherever you are today. Staying active here, activate the back muscles, squeeze the glutes, lift and lengthen. Fingertips are pulling backwards, shoulder blades are coming together. Exhale, push the ground away, meeting back in downward facing dog. From here, you can stay in your downward facing dog or drop the knees down, come into a child's pose, take the knees nice and wide, fingertips point forward. Wherever you are, take 3 breaths. Tapping into our Ujjayi breath if you practice with that. So when we practice our Ujjayi breath, we create a bit of a restriction at the back of the throat and create a nice oceanic sound. So in Vinyasa, we practice 1 breath, 1 movement. And using Ujjayi breath to move through our practice. When you're ready, come up into a seated position. We'll just move into crow once to gain familiarity with the posture and make sure we're comfortable moving into the transition. So from here, have your hands placed underneath your shoulders, walk the feet up behind the elbows, and then I like to place my knees just above my elbow into that little nice shape here. Place the palms down. Our gaze is going to be in the apex of the triangle. So from here, we're going to take the weight forward, suck the belly up, work that protraction, push the shoulders away. Look forward, look forward, look forward. Try to lift both feet up at the same time and holding it here. Try to lift the bum as high as you can. Squeezing, holding for 1 more breath. And exhale, slowly release down with control. From here, we're going to rise all the way up into standing. Sweep the hands over the head. Step to the front of the mat. We're going to sweep our hips down, come into Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink the hips a little bit lower if you can. Sweep the hands up. Draw that last rib in. Widen through the collarbones. If you have tight shoulders, you can take the hands out slightly wider. And coming into our crow position again, we're going to take the hands down to the floor. Take the hips slightly up. From our chair pose, taking our crow position. So finding that nice shelf with the elbows, lifting hopefully both feet up off the same time. Pointing the toes, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Push, push. Staying nice and active. 1, 2, and if you 3, 4, don't worry, just come back into it. And 4, releasing all the way down. Come back into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it down to the ground. Step or hop back into your plank. Exhale down. Inhale up into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, bring the big toes together, touch. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee into nose, squeeze it in here. Release the right foot between the hands. Sweep the hands all the way up into your high lunge. Soften the back leg. So you come into a nice neutral position in your high lunge. Drishti is forward, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Let's glide into a Virabhadrasana 3. So we're going to kick that back foot towards the back of the room, come into our Warrior 3. Hands can come to the side, into your airplane, or stay hands prayer position wherever they are. Try to keep the pelvis nice and level. From here, we're going to exhale, bring that left foot behind the right heel, coming into a cross-legged forward fold. Relaxing the head down from here. We're going to move into chair crow from here. So I want you to bend both of the knees, hands come down to the floor. Maybe you're slightly off the mat, so opposite knee on opposite elbow. And then floating both toes up off the mat, crossing them together. Holding for 1, 2, keep pushing the ground away. 3, 4, exhale, knees come down, cross over the feet. Forward fold, inhale, halfway lift. Sweep the hands up together, stand up into your mountain pose and cross the feet. Take a moment here. Sweep the hands all the way up, inhale. Exhale, take it down to the ground. Step or place the palms back to the floor. Step or hop back, plank. Exhale down. Inhale up. Meeting back in downward facing dog again. Good. So let's take it on the other side. We'll take a nice inhale through the nose first. Exhale through the mouth. Releasing some heat from the body. Big toes come together to touch. Inhale, left leg comes up to the sky. Exhale, knee into nose. Squeeze it here, pause. Exhale, release the foot between the hands. Up onto the fingertips to bounce. Squeeze the lower belly in. Float it off the thigh. Sweep the hands up to the sky. Soften the back leg. Find your nice drishti. Relax the shoulders. Making sure the outside of our left leg is turned on so our knees not collapsing in. From here, hands can float to the side or into prayer position, wherever they are. Take a moment before we step into our Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, kicking that back leg towards the back ceiling, back wall, keeping that right hip down. So finding a nice neutral spine, collarbones level to the front of the mat. Taking a moment here, finding your drishti, finding your balance. You can soften the standing leg as much as you need to, rather than straightening it out, locking the knee out. On your exhale, we're going to take that cross-legged position. So right foot comes behind the left, crossing the knees over, plant the hands down so knees kind of find the elbows. Looking forward, maybe you haven't got a plant to crash into, cross the feet, float them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly release them down, staying in that cross-legged position. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, uncross the feet. Exhale, fold, sweep your hands all the way up for the inhale. Sweep them all the way up above the head. Exhale down to the hands, heart. Allow yourself to melt all the way down to the ground. Place the fingertips down, step or hop back. Option to drop to the knees if you're getting a little bit tired, or stay in your full plank position. Exhale down. Inhale up. Take a moment here. Breathe into the front of the body. Open up the chest. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Pushing back into downward facing dog. Good. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out. Slowly roll down onto your knees. Come into child's pose for just a brief moment. Drop the forehead down towards the floor. Moving into a shoulder stretch, we're going to roll down to the ground. Take the belly all the way down. Fingertips can come wider than the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen up and through your high cobra. Taking the elbows nice and wide. Exhale down. Flowing 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, float it down. Push the ground away. Active with the fingertips. Good. Exhale all the way down. Beautiful. Fingertips come to the front of the mat, moving into our puppy pose to stretch out the chest a little bit more. Take the hips up to the sky, so they're stacked above the knees. I quite like to grab the top of my yoga mat to assist the stretch into puppy pose. But we're going to slowly melt our chest down to the ground. And if your chin doesn't get there, or if your forehead doesn't get there, don't worry. We'll slowly get there in time. This might feel quite uncomfortable on the front of your body. It's very normal. But use your fingertips to pull the mat forward. So we're using the resistance here. Maybe you can slowly work to get your chin down to the floor. And now, instead of staying in a passive stretch, I want you to move into more of an active stretch. I want you to suck the ribs in, push the mat away. Exhale down, relax the ribs. Inhale, push. Squeeze the ribs, squeeze the core in. Exhale down. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale down into the stretch. Inhale up. Beautiful. When you're ready, release yourself up into your tabletop position. Taking a nice moment here. You can roll onto your back. Bring the knees in towards the chest. And then we're just going to massage out our wrists. So we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, bring the hands underneath the calves and the wrist, and take a little rock from side to side. But you can also give your wrist a little bit of a massage with your feet between your calves and your thighs. Always nice to do that, especially after bearing weight through the wrists. You can give your spine a little massage as well, rocking from side to side. And you can move through that flow again if you have time, or if you'd like to practice those 2 transitions, moving through from chair into your crow or from your cross-legged forward fold. They're my favorite ways to get into crow. If you're ready, you can drop the arms down by the side, drop the knees over to the right side, coming into a twist. You can maybe gaze over to the left side. If your knees don't fall all the way down, you can either place a block underneath them, which is quite nice to take the pressure away if it's uncomfortable for you, and then you can slowly release the block or take it down from its side. So if it's on the highest level, you can then drop it down to the lowest level until you're ready to move into the full twist. Take a moment here, relax. Feel the space opening up into the left side of the body, twisting all the way through the spine. Maybe close the eyes if that feels right for you right now. When you're ready, bring the knees back into the center of the chest, slowly dropping them over to the left side. Again, if you use the block on one side, you can use it on the other, so you can have it slightly higher. If your body's not ready to move into the twist, just more of a restorative pose so it's not adding pressure. And then slowly take the block down a level and then take it all the way if it's available to you. So those are nice levels for you to work through in this lovely twist. Take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly release the knees back to the center of the chest. If you'd like to take any more poses before you take your Shavasana, please do. However, it's only a quick flow, so we're going to move into our Shavasana. Have your feet pointed to the outside edges of the mat. Let your shoulders take up space on the floor. Have your palms facing up. Take any last movements of the hips, of the shoulders that you need to before you find stillness. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale again through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, this time side out. Letting go of any control you have over the breath now. Just surrendering to complete stillness and complete silence within the body. Letting the short practice wash over. Letting go of any last bits of tension or tightness. And if you have time here today, I would encourage you to stay here in Shavasana. This part of the practice is just as important as the physical side. So allow this time for your mind to be still and for the body to be still as well. You can stay here for as long as you like. I'll see you in the next practice. Namaste.